So now that we're looking at decimal numbers, the main thing to remember with decimals is it's all about place value. And we need to know our place value. It's all about the place values. So this rectangle is helping us to remember or to look at all the place values for numbers. So for the number 512, we can look at the place values. So we know that we have, in the units, we have 2 units. In the tens place value, we have 110. And the next place value along is the hundreds, and we have 5 hundreds. And we can always try and picture the size of each place value. And with our wooden blocks that we use at primary school, 100 is the flat, made up of 100 units. And a 10 is 1/10 of the size, and that's the straight. And a unit is just one small block. So every place value is 10 times bigger than the next one. So the tens are 10 times bigger than the units, and the hundreds are 10 times bigger than the tens. And the way that decimals work is we're just getting smaller every time. So the place value below the decimal point is called the tenths, and there are 10 tenths in 1 unit. So the units are 10 times bigger. 10 tenths equals 1 unit. So tenths are smaller than 1 unit. And if we had a block to show that, it would be only 1/10 the size. It would be a thin line. Let's draw a proper line. There. So in our number here, let's say we have 4 tenths. Next, let's say we have a 6. The next place value along must be smaller again, and this is called the hundredths place value, and we have 6 hundredths in this case. And just like every place value, this one is 10 times smaller. So 10 lots of 10 hundredths gives us 1/10. And if we had a block showing that, it would only be a dot. Much smaller than a unit, because it's 1 unit divided by 100. And now, in the next place value down, we'll have 3. And the next place value down is called the thousandths. Thousandths. And again, 10 thousandths makes 1/100th. So decimal place values are just to show us parts of a unit, because they're smaller than a unit. So this number we'd say is 512.463, and this is showing us that we have 4 tenths, 6 hundredths, and 3 thousandths. Let's do a different number. 135.249. Another way we can write decimals is to write the place values as a fraction. So we have 100. This is the same as 1 times 100. One group of 100. Here we have 3 tens. So we can write that as 3 tens, 3 times 10. And here we have 5 units, 5 times 1. In the decimals, we have 2 tenths. and tenths means divide by 10. It means 2 lots of 1/10. So the tenth place value we can write as a fraction, as 1/10. The hundredth place value we can write as a fraction over 100, because that's showing 1/100th. And in this number we had 4 hundredths, so that's the same as 4 lots of 100, 100th. And 9 thousandths we can write as 9 lots of 1,000th. Another way we can write these fractions is to actually multiply the numbers together. So 2 lots of 1/10 is the same as 2 tenths. 4 lots of 100th is 4 hundredths, and 9 lots of 1,000 is 9 thousandths. Once we understand how place values work with decimals, we can start to compare how big different numbers are. So if we have 467.543 and 467.443, we need to be thinking which place values are smaller. The hundreds are the same, tens are the same, units are the same, but the tenths, we have one more tenth here. And that means this number is larger.